Good morning, Year 6, and happy Wednesday. We're halfway through our week. Congratulations, you've made it this far. Just a few more days to go until the weekend. Now, to make the most of this video, it's a good idea if you've already had a go at your arithmetic questions and that you've got them there ready so that you can work through the answers with me, reflecting on the answers that you've put, the methods you've used, and doing any editing to your calculations that you need to do. So if you've already had a go at today's questions, then stick with me now and we can go through the answers and the methods. If you haven't had a go at today's questions, then it'd be a good idea to pause the video now, do that, and then come back when you're ready. Okay then, let's start with question number 1. We've got 72% of 70. Okay, well I know that I can partition 72 into 70 and 2. So I'm going to use that knowledge to help me find the percentage. I'm going to start by finding 10% of 70, because that's something that I feel confident at doing. Now, can anybody remember how we find 10%? That's right, to find 10%, we need to divide by 10. If you're not sure how to do this, have you got a method that you could use? Well done, children, that's right. When we were at school, we're very used to drawing a place value chart if we're not confident at dividing by 10. So I'm sure that you've done that at home this morning and that you know 10% of 70 is 7. 70 divided by 10 is 7. Okay, so now I know 10%. How could I use that to find my 70%? Well, I notice that 10%, 70% is 7 times bigger. So therefore, if I multiply 7 by 7, that's going to help me find 70%. So what is 7 times 7? Well done, everybody. It's a square number, isn't it? 49. So I have found 70% of 70. That leaves me with 2% left to find. Well, I know how to find 1%. Can anybody remember how we find 1%? Well done, everybody. To find 1%, we have to divide by 100. So we need to divide 70 by 100. Again, if you're not sure how to do that, which method could you use to help you? Brilliant, you've got your method or your strategy of using a place value chart. So 1% of 70 is 0.7. Well, now I found 1%, how could I use that to find 2% of 70? Well spotted, Year 6. This is twice as big, it's been doubled. So what would double 0.7 be? Well, double 7 is 14. And then I need to remember to put my decimal point in the correct place. So 2% of 70 is 1.4. So now I have found 70% and 2%. What do I need to do with these two amounts to find 72%? You're right, I need to add them together. I know 49 add 1 is 50. I've got no tenths in this number, but I have got 4 tenths here. So my answer is 50.4. Hopefully you're in agreement, Year 6. If you know you've made a calculation error somewhere, please pause the video now and do your best to reflect on your methods and your strategies to see where you've made your error and do your best to correct it. Okay, let's have a look then at question 2. We've got 2/6 add 8/12. Now when we're adding and we're subtracting decimals, what's the first thing that we need to check? You're right, we need to check the bottom numbers or the denominators. Now we want these two to be the same before we continue. So what could I multiply by to make them the same? Well, if I look at 6, I know 6 multiplied or times by 2 would give me 12, which would then make the denominators the same. Now whatever I do to this bottom number, I have to do the same to the top or the numerator. 2 times 2 is 4. When we look at this second fraction, it's already got 12 on the bottom, so I don't need to do anything to change it. It's fine exactly as it is. I don't need to convert it. So now the fractions have the same denominator. What do I need to do? That's right, I start by adding 4 and 8. 4 add 8 is 12. I don't add 12 and 12 together, that remains the same. So my fraction is 12/12. What do we know that 12/12 is the same as or equal to? 1 whole. If you've got 1 whole as your answer, brilliant. If you need to review your learning and spot any calculation errors you've made, please do that now. Okay, well this brings us on to question number 3. We've got 1,624 divided by 28. Now I know some of you get a little bit nervous about these questions, but we're going to work through it together. Don't worry, year 6. Okay, so we're thinking 28 will not go equally into 1. 28 will not go equally into 16. This tells me I'm going to have to do some long division. Okay, so I want to know how many times 28 goes equally into 162. Well, I'm going to think about what I know. Let's start with 28 multiplied by 5. I think that's a good starting point, because I know 28 multiplied by 10 would be 280, so that's too far. Now, 8 times 5 is, well done everybody, 40, and 2 times 5 is 10, add your 4 you've carried, 14. Now, if I was to add another 20 to this number, I would get 160. If I add another 8, I'd get 168. So now I know 28 times 6 as well would be 168. So that would be too far. So I know that 28 goes equally into 162 5 times. And that takes me to 140. Now I need to find the difference to work out my remainder, or what's left over. Some of you might be able to do that mentally, others of you might want to do a calculation. 2 subtract 0 is 2. 6 subtract 4 is 2. And 1 subtract 1 is 0. Now I'm thinking, can I do 28 into 22 equally? Well, no, I can't. So I need to bring down this 4. Therefore, I've got 28 into 224. Now, I already know 28 multiplied by 6 is 168. 2 lots of 20 is 40. If I was to add 40 onto this number, what would I get? 200 odd. Okay, just roughly, we're doing an estimation. So I know that perhaps I want to multiply by, that's right, 8. To see how close I can get. What I might do, year 6, to give us a bit more room, is just rub that one out for now, so we can see what we're doing. We're going to try 28 multiplied by 8. to see how many times 28 goes equally into 224. Okay, so 8 times 8 is 64. 2 times 8 is 16. Add the 6 you've carried, 22. I can see that 28 goes into 224 8 times equally. I'd have no remainders as it's gone exactly. And if you wanted to double check, if you ever weren't sure, then you could do your subtraction to confirm. 4 subtract 4 is 0, 2 subtract 2 is 0, and 2 subtract 2 is 0. So if you're happy with question 3, then we can move on to question 4. If you need to review your learning, please pause the video. Okay, this brings us then to question number 4. Let's make ourselves a little bit more space here. Now, question number 4, we should be feeling reasonably confident with now because we've done lots of this at school. Okay, so we always start over in our ones column with 3 multiplied by 4, which is, well done, 12. 5 times 4 is 20. Add the one we've carried, 21. Well done, everybody. 6 times 4 is 24. Add the 2 that you carried, 26. 4 times 4 is 16. Add the 2 you've carried, 18. Okay. Now we need to put our 0 here. Why do we need to put a 0 here, year 6? What does it represent? Well done. We know that this 6 represents 60 or 6 tens. And to show that, we put our placeholder here to move us over into the tens in our place value column. So 6 times 3 is 18. 5 times 6 is 30. Add the one you carried, 31. 6 times 6, square number, we should know this one, 36. Add the 3 you carried is 39. Well done, everybody. 4 times 6 is 24. Add the 3 you carried, 27. Not done a great job of fitting it in there. There we go, I've managed to keep my place value alignment. Okay, our final step then, year 6, what do we need to do? You're absolutely right, we need to add our digits together. So 2 and 0 is 2. 1 and 8 is 9. 6 add 1 is 7. 8 add 9 is 17. 7 add 1, 8. Add the one you carried is 9. And then we've got 2 on the end. 297,792. If you're happy and you agree with me, you can see that your method is correct, then please continue with me on to number 5. If you need to review your learning, please pause the video now. Okay, let's have a look at question 5 then. We're doing 5/6 divided by 5. Now we know that when we are asked to divide a fraction by a whole number, that it's best off to think of it as a multiply. Therefore, I'm going to multiply 6 by 5, which is, well done everybody, 30. My numerator stays the same, so we have 5/30. Can I simplify this fraction? What do you think, year 6? Excellent. You've spotted, hopefully, that 5 is a multiple of 5 and 30. So therefore, 5 goes into 5 once, equally, and 30 can be divided by 5 6 times equally. So the fraction simplified is 1/6. Okay, that concludes our arithmetic for today. We need to move on to our flashback now. So we'll start with question number 1. How many degrees are there in a right angle? So we know that a right angle, it can look like this. It could be this way round. We've also seen right angles when they're on the diagonal as well. How many degrees are in a right angle? Well done if you remembered that there are 90 degrees in a right angle. Okay, so now we're moving on to a ratio question, but it's been put into a word problem today. So when we do a word problem, we use UDC to help us. So first of all, we're going to read and understand the question. Eva mixes 2 parts of juice with 3 parts of water. If she uses 10 parts of juice, how many parts of water should she use? Okay, well let's have a think then. I'm going to draw now the ratios to help me. And I'm going to label this side as juice and this side as water. So the juice, we have 2 parts juice to 3 parts of water. Now, if Eva uses 10 parts of juice, how many more parts has she made or used? How much has this increased by? You're right, it's 5 times bigger. 2 times 5 is 10. Therefore, you want to make this side the same amount bigger, or increase by the same amount. And 3 times 5 is 15. Well done, everybody. Now, can we simplify this ratio? I'm going to leave you to think about that, Year 6. If you think you can, send me a message on Dojo. There's a little challenge for you. Okay, so if you've got 10/15ths, you can give it a tick. Okay, question number 3 then. Find the perimeter of the square. Now you'll remember that perimeter is the distance around the outside of a shape. Now I know a square has equal lengths on all 4 sides. So therefore this side is also 21, as would this side be, and this side. Now, if I wanted to find the perimeter, I'd have to add together all of these lengths. I could probably do that mentally. 20, 40, 60, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84 centimetres. The perimeter of the square is 84 centimetres. Okay, our final question then is a little bit of revision here about rounding. Now, if you're rounding to the nearest 100, which digit do you need to look at first of all? Well done, the digit in the hundreds column. Then we look next door to the 2. 0, 1, 2, 3 or 4, stop, we stay the same. So this will remain as 800. All the digits before stay the same, and all the digits after your 100 turn to a 0. If you're rounding 7,825 to the nearest 100, your answer is 7,800. Okay, well done Year 6. Excellent effort this morning. I'm looking forward to seeing your learning, particularly any reviews that you've had to do or editing and checking of calculations. Don't forget to send me your work on Class Dojo. Have a wonderful day, everybody.